is your motivation behind participating in the county fair coming up next week?
For the most part, it was I wanted to learn personal responsibility, as well as make some money to help me go to college, help pay for college. But a lot of it was responsibility, learning time management, and a bunch of necessary skills.
Okay. And are you excited about participating in the livestock show?
Very. I look forward to it every year. It's kind of wrapping up my show season, and especially it being my senior year, you know, we have a lot of big plans. I'm obviously participating in a lot of different projects, ag mech, pig, rabbits, lambs, goats, so.
And those will be all of the animals you use at the fair?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then, I guess, what's the process in preparing them for the fair?
It's mostly just your typical stuff. I wake up 6:30 every day, feed. If water buckets are empty, I'll fill up water buckets. If they're dirty, replace. Also, I mean, that's for them. Then I also have my other animals that I have to take care of that I'm not showing. But it's pretty typical stuff. After school, I'll come home and we have them all on a workout regimen. Like him, I'll sprint him. My goat, I'll sprint. Then off days, we'll treadmill. We have one that's kind of on ice right now, preparing him for Houston. But outside of that, I mean, it's pretty typical stuff.
Any challenges you may have faced during this time?
There's quite a few. The heat that the summer brought made diseases, you know, viral infections, stuff like that, made them extremely susceptible to it. So we've been fighting that. After we go to these jackpot shows, we make sure that we bathe them in all in antifungal. We've been battling mites, so we'll give them proper treatment for that, and they get bathed pretty regularly. Our sheep, less than our goats, just because we have to take care of their hide, and the hide has a lot to do with how they feel in their handle.
You actually had a lamb die of salmonella.
I did actually have a lamb die of salmonella this past year. It's rough, but I mean, it's part of the experience. It's a lesson you have to learn.
Right. And so, why these specific animals have these shows? Tell them why we do lambs.
Yeah, lambs, it was something small that we could do. It's ended up being a very big project. We had 3 sheep for most of this year, but it was kind of just our idea. We don't exactly have the setup for cattle, but obviously with our pens and everything like that, we could set up something real quick and easy for sheep, and it has evolved into a lot more than that.
And I guess for the actual show, do you know, do you mind explaining a little bit of that process? I don't know if this will be your first time taking part in one of these fairs.
So I've been showing sheep for 4 years now. The first year that I was going to show was COVID year, so we didn't get to exhibit our livestock that year. But after that, we move in on Wednesday. We're just making sure that they stay hydrated, stay fed, you know, making sure that they're healthy. Our second year showing, we had one, we clipped them for county fair and had ringworm come up. Thankfully, we had a backup sheep that we could show, but we're shearing, you know, a month out, looking for signs of ringworm, any infections that would make them ineligible to show. And if so, we're taking care of that before show.
And so, is there anything you're expecting at the fair this year?
Well, we're always shooting just for sale. I mean, me and my mom at the beginning of every year will set our goals, and pretty much every year it's just, let's make sale this year. We don't shoot too high, although we always hope to, but we aren't trying super hard to get up there.
And one last question. Based on your experience so far just preparing, do you have any advice you'd like to give any other students or anyone that's participating?
I would make sure that you shear a little bit further out. Just make sure that you don't expose anything that you don't want to see. I always suggest taking them to jackpot shows, which are just small, like weekend shows, to make sure that they have experience in the ring and the kid has some experience, because just being out here with the animal is completely different than being in a ring with an animal.
You went in the show ring 100 times.
Last year I did walk in the show ring over 100 times throughout the whole year. Yeah, prior to the youth fair. So I suggest getting some experience. You can ask anyone who's experienced with lambs. They say it takes 30 plus times before you walking into the ring before you really know what you're doing. And I suggest hitting that 30 as quick as possible. Just because, like I said, you need experience, you need to know what you're doing, you need to know how that sheep's going to react. My first year I showed a horse. He was out here, I'd work with him, whatever, walk him into the ring, and there's a plod, everything like this going on. He started freaking out. So I would just suggest getting that experience.